Hello and welcome to this Astranti industry analysis video. My name's James and today I'm going to be taking you through the industry analysis for the OCS case study exam for the August sitting. Now of course today we are dealing with the jewelry industry and more specifically our pre-scene company AKL Sparkle. Now it's important to clarify at this point that this video isn't designed to replace the industry analysis document. What I'm going to be doing in this video is I'm going to be picking out and highlighting some of the key trends, key issues within the industry that I think will be of use to you in your exam. So it's really important that you use this in conjunction with the wider detail in the industry analysis. Now, as usual, at OCS level, your role within this pre-scene company, AKL Sparkle, is that you are a finance officer. And as you can see on the screen, you're a finance officer in the company's finance department with a principal responsibility for preparing budgets and variance information and for assisting Jack East, who is the department's head of finance. In addition, you will be assisting with preparation of things like financial statements, and may also deal with any ad hoc requests for information or work from other managers in the business. So now that we've got this sort of introduction into the company and your role out the way, the first thing I want to do is to dive into the history of the jewelry industry more generally, just to sort of give us a bit of an introduction into the industry and see if there's any key points that we can take and keep in mind for the rest of our analysis. Now, one of the first points I want to make when looking at the industry's history is that jewelry in one form or another has been around for a very, very long time. Archaeologists have in fact found pieces of jewelry in Turkey, bracelets in Turkey, which date back to around 7,500 BC. So nearly 10,000 years ago, there is evidence of people wearing jewelry. Now, thinking more specifically about bracelets in prehistory, one of the things that really stands out is the significant variations which existed both in terms of the design, the materials used in bracelets, but also the function that bracelets held. So we can see in a society like ancient Egypt, for instance, bracelets were more decorative in nature and were made from precious materials like gold and silver, as well as more basic materials like stone. And quite often, as well as their decorative usage, there were also some sort of spiritual, religious, symbolic links to wearing these bracelets. In Asia, on the other hand, we have gold remaining a prominent material, but in societies like China, for instance, jade was a very common material to be used in these products, and it was perceived to have a number of different, more practical properties than simply looking good. So it was obviously perceived here, as you can see, to have some sort of healing and protection powers. We can see that the more practical use of bracelets also continued in other societies like ancient Greece. So the Greeks did wear bracelets for decorative purposes. However, they also wore them as parts of military uniform, for instance, as part of rank identifiers and identification purposes within these sections of society. And this was a similar policy that was later adopted by the Romans. So from looking at the prehistory of the industry and of bracelets in general, we can see that there was significant usage of bracelets. They were very commonly worn throughout early history. And what we can also see is that there are significant variations in terms of both the materials and also the usage of these products from more decorative purposes through to more practical purposes. Now, if we were to move on in time a little bit, we actually see the usage of bracelets decline in medieval Europe. And this has sort of been commonly associated with the prominence in Christian values at the time. So things such as vanity, for instance, was not a value that was promoted by the Christian church, and so the use of jewelry like bracelets declined. However, this decline is seen as being halted somewhat by the Renaissance in Europe, which brought about a range of cultural and artistic developments, but also a massive increase in things such as trade and exploration, which all had an impact on the wearing of jewelry and also the design of these products. And all this means is that when we get into the 17th century, bracelets as a fashion accessory for European women returned with a bang. And we see this trend developing through the 18th and 19th centuries with more specific variations on bracelet designs, such as the use of lockets or charms, gaining popularity in the mid-19th century. Now, as we move into the 20th and 21st century, the main thing to note here is that bracelets maybe weren't just viewed as a luxury item, and we see the widening of availability of these types of jewelry, and this is fueled both by increasingly widely available materials to make jewelry from, but also from the development of mass production techniques. And these 2 points will be key ideas that we will come back to over the course of this video multiple times. And so then as we move into the 20th and then the 21st century, we see the continued growth in popularity of this type of jewelry. We see things such as the return of male bracelets, for instance. And we also see more specific developments such as the use of bracelets as an indicator of support for particularly charity groups, for instance. So it's fairly common these days to see people walking around with plastic bands around their arms supporting particular charities such as Help for Heroes, for instance, or Lance Armstrong's fairly iconic actually Live Strong bands. So what does all this mean when we apply it to our pre-scene company, to AKL Sparkle? Well, the history of this industry first really highlights to us that despite some of the practical uses for these products in early historical periods primarily, the main usage of these products throughout history has been as a sort of decorative accessory. And so what this really does, I know it's maybe sort of a simple point, but it highlights the importance of fashion and design to this industry. It's really important that companies in it, like AKL Sparkle, are continually producing innovative, attractive products and product designs to meet customer trends, which will be potentially quite volatile, quite changeable in what is a very fashion-conscious, design-conscious industry. This is a crucial part of a company's strategy if they are to remain successful. The second interesting trend from looking at the history of the industry is the rise of the mass availability of jewelry. And what this really highlights is that though things like fashion and trendiness are key features for the industry, there is also an increasing level of accessibility of these products in terms of price and the type of products available. So although we have a high-end market for jewelry, it's really important to remember here that there is also an accessible, affordable market. This is not a luxury, high-end, exclusive product entirely. There are some areas of the market that are like this. But equally, there is a mass market available for more attainable, affordable products for every type of consumer in society. My first example sees us return to Pandora. And specifically here, I want to talk about new products and new product trends. So in 2018, Pandora released 2 new product ranges, the Shine range and the Reflections range. The Shine product range is a collection of 18 karat gold plated sterling silver products and includes a range of different types of jewelry, including rings and earrings, as well as the company's famous charm products. The Reflections range was launched in October 2018 and is a range of flat charm bracelets. So traditionally the company's bracelets are circular in nature, similar to those sold by AKL. Here we see an update on this with a range of flat style bracelets with their own designated range of charms. Now, why is this example important? Well, it really highlights again the fashion conscious nature of this industry and how important it is for companies like AKL to continually update its designs and to introduce new product ranges to cater to changing demands and trends among consumers. So one of the trends that is in place in the wider industry, which I've not touched on in this video, is the increased or the resurgence in popularity of gold-based products. And so what we have here is a clear example of a leading retailer releasing a new product range to cater to a specific trend within the industry. Having watched this sample, we'd like to take the opportunity to draw your attention to a few of the other products that Astranti offer in relation to the case study exams. Now, the first of these is a study text, and this study text is available for all 3 of the CIMA case study levels. This study text contains comprehensive advice on how to pass the relevant level case study exam. This is advice ranging from tips on how the exams are actually marked and what you need to do to get these marks, all the way through to actually writing style and other key advice. These study texts are then supplemented by course videos, and again these course videos touch on some of the key ideas that you need to abide by, that you need to be aware of when looking to pass your case study exams. For individual sittings, we then produce pre-scene analysis videos. Now, these are a range of videos where an expert in the office dissects the pre-scene in minute detail, bringing out some of the key points that you need to be aware of, and really giving you a thorough understanding of the company for you to take into your exam. These pre-scene analysis videos are then supplemented by our industry analysis pack. Now, you'll be aware of this if you just watched our sample video, but essentially what this pack contains is an analysis on the industry behind the fictional case study company. So we look at the industry itself, competitors, things like that, really dig into detail here so you don't have to do this as part of your revision. And then crucially, we compare this to the case study company. So what we have here is a video that you've just seen a sample of, but the main thing we produce in this regard is a industry analysis document. On top of these products, we then produce mock exams. So there'll be a range of different mock exams for each case study sitting. And these are designed to be as real life as possible, as close to the real life exam as possible. So we provide not only a range of mock questions, but we also provide comprehensive, detailed model solutions, if you like. So you can compare your answers with the model solutions produced by our experts in-house. On top of this, you can then also choose to have the solutions that you create to our mock exams marked and then personalized feedback provided by CIMA qualified accountants. Now, on top of all these options, we also offer a comprehensive masterclass. And what this masterclass is really good for is those sorts of people who maybe have decided to study for the exam at the last minute, or those of you who just want a sort of comprehensive overview of everything that the exam will cover. And so these are comprehensive recordings which you can either watch live or which you can watch as recordings, covering everything you need to know about the exam. And finally, we do have a lot of confidence in the quality of our material. So if you purchase our full course pack, and if you don't pass your exam, unfortunately, using this pack, then we will offer you a pass guarantee. Essentially, we will provide you with free materials for the next course sitting. So all that's left for me to say is, once again, thank you very much for watching this video and best of luck in your exam from everyone here at Astranti.